you've all lost the plot, and I've seen one LinkedIn post too many, and it's gotten me all riled up and sassy feeling, and we have to talk about something. If I have to see one more piece of social media content telling me how AI agents are going to completely render shopping obsolete, then I am going to disintegrate into a puddle on the floor. Maybe not. Maybe scream from the rooftops, pull my hair out. I don't know. It's going to get ugly. People love to make these big sweeping statements of, oh my gosh, nobody's ever gonna make their own decision about choosing a product again. Guys, we really need to take a pause here. Now, I also want to give people the benefit of the doubt because let's be honest, in the marketing and business world, there are lots of people that are all about optimizing everything in their lives. If they can have a uniform where they wear the exact same outfit every single day and they follow a very specific nutritional regimen of broccoli and chicken 7 days a week and the schedule that never wavers, that is all fine and dandy. I'm not judging that. More power to you. To me, that sounds miserable from my own personal experience. I like variety. I like the freedom to use my time how I want it. But I think this type of mindset could potentially, when combined with the way that social media rewards big, sweeping, bold statements, it's creating the perfect storm for perhaps all of us to be led astray if we're not careful. So what am I talking about? Yeah, I know. I'm riled up and I'm ready to pull some punches. I don't know, whatever the expression is. I'm feeling saucy. So a lot of this content that I'm talking about has stemmed from ChatGPT's recent release of their Operator, which is essentially an AI agent that can begin to make decisions for you, even buying products without you ever having to go to the marketplace or website and purchase the product. It follows your instructions and it does what it is that you're asking it to do. It does your bidding for you. It's essentially working as an assistant to do whatever it is that you want it to do, obviously within the parameters that it's capable of. And so obviously when we are extending that out to the world of e-commerce and buyer behavior and all of that, there is a leap that a lot of marketers have made since this announcement that has me really scratching my head. And they are saying, well, no more. Eventually, people are not even going to be choosing their own products. They're not going to be looking at your product pages. They're not going to be searching for your product pages. None of it. They are going to be using their AI agents to do their bidding for them so that they have more time to go on and build and optimize to be the most optimal version of themselves. And that's great. There are probably going to be some people that do that. However, this is really a topic that requires some nuance and some thought about a few things, which is one, first and foremost, we shop for many different types of things in our lives for many different purposes. I'm so worked up that I'm all over the place. So let's get a little bit of focus. Why is this a problem? Shopping is about more than meeting a need. Yes, there are absolutely those basics that we just have to have, that if we could have an AI agent, or not even an AI agent, just the set and forget, like the subscribe and save on Amazon, where we're just getting the replenishments that we need when we need them for toilet paper or toothpaste or what have you. Makes perfect sense. There's already mechanisms for being able to manage that. So in that particular case, it's not super new or revolutionary. But the jump that a lot of marketers are making is to assume that shopping is a chore. It's something that nobody wants to do. And if you could have an AI agent that understands you and what you like and could just take care of all of it for you, then that would be great. And people would be free to use their time for whatever other things that they want to do. Now, I'm going to liken this to the contrast of classical economics to behavioral economics. So if you're not familiar, classical economics makes the assumption that humans are rational beings that are making decisions that are rational and based on what will fulfill their best interests. However, some really smart people named Amos Tversky and Daniel Kahneman came on the scene and said, hey, wait a minute, humans are anything but rational. All of the time, we are making decisions that are counterintuitive to what would actually be in our own best interest if we were using statistics and basic rationale. And so they recognized that human beings do not operate in this idealized world of classical economics. And as a result, it doesn't make sense to rely on assumptions that are anything but accurate when real humans are making real decisions. And I fear that we are falling into the same trap all over again with this whole conversation around shopping and the integration of AI agents. So yes, there are people that will probably use AI agents to do all of their purchasing, and that's great for them. However, shopping is more than about fulfilling a need or buying a product that you need to replace. Shopping also has a lot of emotional elements tied into it for people. It can be a pastime when you are bored. It can be about making yourself feel better when you're sad. It can be about creative expression and individuality when it comes to finding that absolutely perfect item, either for yourself or for somebody you love. And so when presented with the option to have an AI agent do all of that for you, there's going to be a lot of people and a lot of situations that would still opt to want to go shopping because of the joy, the experience, the emotional outcome that it is going to give them. So just because you or the marketing world is obsessed with optimizing every little thing in your life and in your world, it doesn't mean that we can extrapolate that to be a grand theme that's going to explain how customer behavior is going to irreversibly change forever. So you might be obsessed with optimizing, but actually a lot of life's greatest pleasures come from the inefficient things. It's about cooking a really slow, delicious meal to show love to somebody that you care about, or thrifting for that perfect item from the 70s that nobody else has, or getting lost in a good book. Now, all of those things you could automate and optimize and make more efficient, but that would actually take away from the joy and the pleasure. And also, might I add, what are you going to do with all of that free time? If we are just all about optimizing, where we don't need to learn languages, we don't need to read books because somebody can summarize them for us, we don't need to cook meals because we have a robot that can do it for us, what are we going to do with all of our time? Work more? I don't want to do that. I mean, technically, you don't even have to travel anymore with virtual reality. So just because there is a more efficient or inexpensive option does not necessarily mean that everybody is by default now going to choose that option. So maybe you hate shopping. Maybe you see it as a chore, but that doesn't mean that everyone does. And in this world of really fast-paced changes and massive, massive shifts in how we do almost everything, we can fall into having blinders of making assumptions that how we see or use or implement something is also going to be a blanket experience for everyone else. And this is something that I think about all the time. Perhaps an ad doesn't work on me, but I need to be able to understand who it is working on and why it's effective for them. That Super Bowl commercial for junk food, I'm not the target audience, but I can appreciate perhaps some of the different mechanisms that they are using in order to bring awareness to their brand and product, or stoke interest and desire, or deepen the relationship with their fans that are already big supporters of their business. So we need to be able to create that separation, to recognize that other people have different experiences of the world, and to not be so tunnel vision that we begin to imagine a future that is not representative of the broader, wider experience. And it's funny because great marketers understand psychology, whether it's shiny objects or personal biases, or feeling this need to create cutting edge content, maybe even cutting edge content that pushes boundaries like mine. Maybe that's the goal. Maybe they wanted to get me riled up because they know saying something bombastic is going to get people needing to leave comments and engage with their videos and all of that jazz. Could be the case, but I felt like there were enough people saying similar things and then being cheerleaders, rah in the comments, that I foresee us perhaps as a broader industry at a point where we could be making assumptions that are not in our best long-term interest. So will AI change the way we shop? Absolutely. Without a question of a doubt. Will it likely make it much, much harder for brands wanting to disrupt customer loyalty? Yes. That is an area in particular where if you have these replenishable items that you're just really not having to shop for anymore, it could be much more difficult to gain traction. So we're talking about those basic household goods, not necessarily those fun product discovery experiences. So let's not make the mistake of assuming that our behaviors are representative of everyone's behaviors. And let's not treat all shopping decisions as equal. Toilet paper is not the same as your best friend's birthday present, is not the same as that impulse buy lip gloss that you just couldn't resist on TikTok. Okay, so I've told you all these things that are not going to happen. If you would like to know where I think e-commerce is headed in this next year, 2 or 3, then I highly recommend that you watch the video that should be popping up right here, which really goes into the new way that customers are buying and deciding and discovering new products. It's a must watch. It's a great video, if I do say so myself. I hope to see you over there. In the meantime, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for listening to this rant. Let me know also what you think. Do you disagree with me? Let me know in the comments. Let's hash it out. Let's have some discussion. I love being able to get into a conversation around these types of topics. In the meantime, thank you so much for watching. Bye.